Middle-earth month reaches the halfway point as we look at a film that has been described as a masterclass, a pièce de résistance, a tour de force of fantasy film. I am of course talking about The Return of the King. Because, well, what other words can you use to describe Return of the King other than those three phrases? Because that's all it is. Fantastic direction, fantastic acting, fantastic set, fantastic visual effects, fantastic everything. Even if there are a few plot holes from the theatrical version that are rectified in the extended. But I digress. Let's have a look at the plotline. Following the Battle of Helm's Deep, Gandalf, Legolas, if that's pronounced correctly, Aragorn and Gimli are taken to the wrecked Isengard, where the Treebeard, the Ents, Merry and Pippin are celebrating following the defeat of Sauron. But the course of celebration is short and swift, for the final battle looms. The battle that will decide the fate of Middle-earth. Gandalf and the good forces versus Sauron and his forces from Mordor and Mount Doom. As the forces come together in one mighty battle, the treacherous Gollum leads Frodo and Sam towards Mount Doom. But of course, with Gollum wanting the ring all for himself, twists and turns along the way that will test Frodo and Sam's friendship, and ultimately see whether Sauron and the bad forces will be defeated once and for all. I've praised them before, I'll praise them again. The set and the visual effects are just magnificent. They're just magnificent. Captured exactly to how they would have been described in Peter Jackson's books. Especially with Mount Doom, because of course all you can see with Mount Doom is just a fiery volcano, a ledge, and a sort of entrance towards the fiery fires. It just all looks fantastic and so brilliant. And of course, what good is praising Return of the King if you don't praise the action sequences? There are a ton in this film, and all of them are outstanding. Simply outstanding. I mean, you got the big battle against the last free city of Middle-earth, which sees all the forces come together. So like you got your massive elephants, your orcs, all the good forces, and even in some cases, the army of the dead. Which are, of course, the Army of Dead are recruited by Legolas, and they all come together in order to retain their reputation and redemption. As I say, it's all just brilliant, though there are a few bit, silly moments. For instance, the current king, who's before Aragorn, he does some very stupid moments, including declaring his son be put on fire, even though he's not actually dead, and just acting a little bit all mental. But if you think that bit's silly, it compares nothing to what happened to Sauron. He was featured predominantly in the Two Towers, and shown at the end retreating back into his tower, and he's never seen again in the theatrical version. It's all explained in the extended edition, and I respect that the film is very long. I mean, it's nearly 200 minutes. But surely you'd have time in there to explain what happened to Sauron that you wouldn't have to put in the extended edition. That just seems a bit pointless, having one of the most main characters from the Two Towers barely appearing at all. He gets a few worded mentions in Return of the King, and that's it. Nothing against Peter Jackson, but a bit unusual not to include Sauron, really. But the best part I have to praise, well, the biggest part I have to praise, the final act. The act which sees the final battle outside Mordor, and the final battle to see the ring, or try and get the ring thrown into Mount Doom. And to be honest, this whole final act just, whilst the first part was entertaining, the second half just went a bit on and on. I mean, to quote my mother, Frodo just spent all his time when he could have, thrown the bloody ring! Yeah, I gather that it takes a long time for him to throw it because he's possessed. towards the end of his contemplating, but they could have just had him throw the ring straight away. If they'd thrown it straight away, that would have been job done, Bob's your uncle. And of course, like I say, the final battle is terrific, which is just all the forces come together, just a big bash together, mighty forces, powerful, bish bash bosh, death, death, death. And like I say, that bit's entertaining. It's much more entertaining than seeing Frodo contemplate to throw the ring or not to throw the ring. That is the question. But even then, the battle does have its very good moments. Quickly towards the end, when spoilers, the ring is finally thrown and Sauron is obliterated. As the eye is obliterated and he finally falls apart, all his dark force crashes down, and all the evil forces of Middle-earth fall into the earth. Simple as. That bit was pretty spectacular. But like I say, the last part really drags on. I mean, they have several cop-out endings, really. Because it's all just, they have it all ending with Frodo and Sam on a rock as the fires of Mount Doom flow around them. Then zooms out to everyone celebrating, but then the story carries on. It just completely carries on. People get married, people go off, go on, so on and so forth. I mean, I just didn't know when the film was going to end. It felt like time had slowed down when I was watching it. But that's just me. And even though I have mentioned more negative points, there are only a few tiny bits compared to the mastery of The Return of the King. As I say, the set pieces and visual effects are outstanding, the acting outstanding, the plotline and the action sequences all outstanding. I have no idea why I waited about 10 years from the end of Return of the King to get into the whole Lord of the Rings saga, but now I have got into it, I'm pleased to say that I'm a ringer, which apparently is the term used to describe Lord of the Ring fandom. And so there we go. That's the Lord of the Rings trilogy reviewed. But Middle-earth month is not over yet. In the next 2 weeks, I shall be looking at the Hobbit films. So, I'll be looking at An Unexpected Journey and The Desolation of Smaug. If you're Hobbit fans, tune in.